Well, hey everybody, Jonathan here with Magical Day Media. I hope this video finds you well. I hope it finds you preparing for your next Walt Disney World or Disneyland vacation. Wanted to bring a quick show today to give a fond farewell to Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. It is 20 years to the day today that it will be having its final show, and so wanted to bring just a brief tribute and talk about that a little bit. So I made a few notes here. Like I said, 20 years to the day that it showed. Its first showing was October the 1st of 1999. And one of the things that really stands out to me is that it's amazing that a show can be 20 years old and still be compelling. People will still be excited to see it. Nobody feels as though it is dated. But as far as the message, the theming, and what it puts out there every night doesn't really appear to be dated. It's still a very compelling show, a good show to watch. I've seen it quite a few times, so I don't necessarily stop down, or I haven't been stopping down to see it every time, but anytime it's going on, I can't help but stop where I am. Even if I haven't, camped out to get a good spot to view, I still stop down and watch it because it's a really, really good show, really compelling. One of the things that they did so well when they came up with this was the innovative set pieces. And again, we're talking 20 years on, but that globe in the middle of the lagoon there is just so well done and such a neat centerpiece, a neat set piece for them to use. Of course, now with the technology that Disney is using with projections, of course, it's showing its age. But, again, for a 20-year-old, actually 20-plus-year-old set piece, it still does so well for them, and it still works so well to help tell the story. The other thing that they did that was so neat, that I always loved whenever I saw it, was the fireworks right on the water. Of course, they'd be launching from different places, but you would always have kind of the central launching point there on the water, which is always so neat. Of course, in Disney World, in the Magic Kingdom, of course, the fireworks are launched way back behind even the park. But here in this show, they want to keep everything in the center there, and so they launch right in the central location in the water. I always thought that was so cool. I still remember the show that preceded Reflections of Earth, and how as a kid, I just thought it was the greatest thing. And all it was classical music scored to lasers that would flash around Epcot and illuminate the different nations in World Showcase. And I loved it. I thought it was really cool, but it didn't really tell a story. It just showed off some neat technology. And Illuminations did such a good job in telling a story. It drew you in. It took you all the way back through the history of man to highlight, to put a spotlight on the storytelling that originally helped man develop as a species, that we would gather around a fire. And that was the opening line. We were here, we gather around the fire. The man would gather around the fire and tell the stories and talked about a shared history that we all have. And then it would go through the ages of man and how man grew and developed and changed, and then separated into nations and in the different parts of the world, and then highlighted the different nations with the lights. I always have loved that bit. And then that final nightcap with that song, We Go On, that talks about the shared history that we all have as nations. It's such a great show. I've always loved it. I am truly going to miss it. I think it was a gem. I think the park just always, or that Imagineering always had just a hit on their hands with this show. And it's a testament to see how many people loved it, to see how long it lasted without any significant changes. It kept going with the same technology, the same music, the same score, the same basic show for the longest time. So it was really well done. So it's a shame to see it go. It's such a good show. But given recent history and what the Magic Kingdom is doing with Happily Ever After, with the Halloween fireworks, with the projections, the next show that Epcot's going to put out is going to be so phenomenal, so over the top good. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to see it. I'm going to talk about the next show in another video. This is about Illuminations. Anyway, I digress. So Illuminations, great show. Sad to see it go. Excited for what's to come. But in the meantime, take some time. I don't have a full showing of Illuminations to give you here. I'm not going to make you sit through a 12-minute video on top of this. But definitely take some time. If you've never seen Illuminations for one reason or another, You owe it to yourself to go out there on YouTube and find it. You'll find, I'm sure, thousands of showings of Illuminations. It's such a good show to watch. So with that, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Of course, do all the things like subscribe, hit the notification bell. All of that helps me immensely. Walk your dog, eat your vegetables, call your mother, all the other good things. Take your vitamins. I think that's all the good stuff that we're supposed to remind you to do as YouTubers. So with that, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Keep it safe and keep it magical. Thanks. Bye-bye.